Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 238, your place for the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest, Leslie from Southlake, Texas. Leslie, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so grateful for you being here today. So give us a little update about you and your business.
An update. Well, it has been growing steadily. I have been able to maintain consistency, and it's through different things that I've implemented, including discipline and, a bunch of things that really, really work. But it's going better than it used to. So I'm grateful.
And is that going better because of the discipline and the consistency and the systems you put in place?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
What's maybe one of the breakthrough systems? What's the one thing that's maybe made the biggest difference in your momentum?
Doing. For a while, I was stuck into how do you do this, and let me learn this step, and then how to, the process and learning. I wanted to learn everything, and I was forgetting to do.
Yeah.
So honestly, you have to do. The knowing will come with the doing.
I love it. That's the quote of the episode, Sarah. The knowing comes in the doing. You were getting ready to get ready, right? And
correct.
And now that you're doing, one of my favorite Markisms is the winners are the doers.
You have to do. There's no other way around it.
Yeah. And then you learn by doing, and you're going to make some mistakes and you're going to fumble, but you learn and build experience by doing. When you're sitting on the sidelines, all you're doing is observing, right?
You're learning, but theory is one thing, and then doing.
It's not the same as doing. Observing is not the same as doing. Now,
absolutely not.
Recently, you took a pretty big leap of faith, and at JPAR, we expose all of our associates to Brian Buffini, to Tom Ferry, to Travis Robertson, all of the coaches throughout the industry, for a number of reasons. One, to expose everyone to different concepts and different ideas. But you took the leap to hire a coach. You put some financial resources. It wasn't an easy decision. One, was it scary? And two, why did you make the decision?
I am ready to take on the next step in my career. So I have the systems implemented for my personal life to be supported, for me to go on and move forward. So this is the right time for me to truly make things work in my business, implement the systems, make it work for me, and really get everything out of it that I can from now.
Yeah. Was it scary making that financial commitment?
Mark, it was not, because I'm all in. I'm committed, and I know my capabilities, my skills, and I know that I do.
Yeah.
And so it was not scary. To me, it's scarier to not know what's coming, or if I don't have anything planned. That's scarier, because I'm a mama.
Yeah. So for you, kind of signing up for the coaching and that financial commitment, you viewed that as a blueprint for the future to give you some certainty, moving out of uncertainty.
Right. It's the next step because I think that as real estate agents, we are the tellers of our future, right? It's like I was so blessed and appreciative of me learning about choose your heart earlier in my career, right? Because it's so true. You have to choose your heart, and it as agents, it's on us. So for me, it's really about, you have the systems, you have implemented certain things, and it's going on great for you, but is there maybe more to what you have, and going to the summit? Of course there's a lot more, and it's just being in this position, just ready to make another leap in my career, that I see it as the next leap. I was already bouncing sort of, and then you just bounce onto the next step, basically.
Now, when you go to these conferences like the summit and all these, there's obviously more ideas presented than you can possibly implement in a 30, 60, 90-day period. How did you kind of synthesize the ideas that resonated with you versus the one that should go in the parking lot, which were the ones that should maybe just even forgotten? Did you struggle with taking in all the information and synthesizing it into an actionable plan for you, or did you come up with a pretty good plan?
Well, not really, and I tell you why, because I know my market. I know my database pretty well. I know who I'm marketing to. I have my niche and my perfect avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't difficult for me to understand which things were going to work for what I do and how I do things. And then there were some things that I thought, well, maybe I'll try that and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also trial and error as, you know, those plays come.
Yeah. Now, if you could look back and start all over with what you know today, would you do anything differently?
Gosh, I wish I would have had. I have an spreadsheet. Actually, it's an Excel sheet that I work off of every day, and it's not as fancy as a CRM, but that has put my business and it really anything that I do with it in perspective. And I think if I had that from the very beginning, it would have made a different career for me from the beginning.
Wow.
That in itself, the systems that I've implemented, basically.
Yeah. And I'd like everyone to hear that, you know, whether it's a full-on blown technology solution like KV Core and Inside Real Estate or an Excel spreadsheet, give yourself permission, right?
Yes.
What works for you may not work for me, but finding that thing that worked for you, that spreadsheet, was a breakthrough for you.
It was. And just learning. I mean, so some of the things come with time, right?
Yeah.
Learning your market, how to talk to your market. I can relate to them, so I know where they're coming from, and I'm able to dissipate some of, you know, their fears and whatnot. But the nitty gritty things of the actual business, you have to be able to measure them. You have to be able to almost touch it. So for me, that Excel sheet is what makes me see and touch what's happening, makes me feel more certain of what I'm doing and how I'm moving forward, and the things that I need to improve, and the things that, you know, there's always room for improvement. There's really no other way in anything that you do in life, whatever you do. So that's a good way to measure things, measure progress, measure whatever.
Now, does the normalizing or shifting market that we're in scare you?
It does not. It doesn't, because I think we have to go back to, you just have to you have to pivot. You have to step back out of what you're doing. And if it's no longer working, then we all know the definition of insanity, right? So if something's not working, stop doing it. And pivot and do something different. And that's why I'm not scared. Honestly, that's not something that scares me. And because I also know, I read, I get informed about everything that's going on. And I always tell my clients, I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you everything that's going to happen, but I don't. And I won't be able to say anything about the future, but I can tell you that right now is X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Right. So help them understand and see where they're standing and what it is that they're doing right now. There's nothing like the present. So I'm concerned about today.
Well, what I love about what we do is we help, you know, shelter, home is a fundamental need of all Americans. And we get to participate in that in every market. And regardless of the market, there's going to be, you know, birth, death, divorce, job relocations, graduations, new businesses. And I was just reading that 40% of Americans own their home free and clear of no mortgage. And they're able to, you know, sell or buy in cash. And so we just have to get resourceful and find the new markets as things shift. Would you agree?
Oh, yes. Resourcefulness is everything. It's part of the things that you have to be good at.
Yeah.
Being resourceful as a real estate agent. That is a fact. And if you yourself are not, then you have to find somebody that can help you with that, because that's a pivotal part. And maybe the coaching part that's the perfect resource for anybody who doesn't feel like that they have that skill, that they still need to work on that skill.
And that's what we pride ourselves here at JPAR, is really being that coach, that mentor, that caring leader who can communicate the shifting market, the normalizing market, how to capitalize on different market segments as the market does move around. And I think it makes a difference.
It's one thing I love about JPAR.
Yeah.
That part is never stopping. There's always information. There's always things to look at. That's awesome.
And then once we get the information and the knowledge, then we have to do, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. The winners are the doers. Well, with that, any last words of wisdom before we wrap up this episode?
If I had to say one thing, it's just care. Truly, truly care for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your business, for your clients, of course. Because when you truly care, and really just any human out there, it shines through. And when you care, people can see that you care. And when you care, you do things right. It's almost like a task, right, to yourself. You care about your child, you're going to do great things for your child. You care about your client, you're going to do great things for your client. And that's really, I think, that what makes a difference is that the best compliment that I've ever gotten, really, from many of my clients is, we love that you care for us. We love that we can trust you because you care. And that, again, that shines through. And that's really the best thing. Do and care. Do and care.
I love it. Great quotes. You know, I love your quote. When you care, you do the right things.
Yes.
That's powerful. Well, there we have it. That's our episode of Success Superstars this week. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears.